should be sharp. Okay, so you're on. I just do this. All right, let's do this. Let's rock and roll. Hey everyone. I had a really shitty day today. Well, it wasn't really shitty, but so my turntable behind me, you can't see it because it's my turntable. It's starting to speed up and slow down. So I'll be like listening to the Cult, Fire Woman. And I'll be like, fire! And then it goes, it's like Ian Asbury is like drunk again. You know? He's getting loaded on his own records. You know? Which is just weird. So anyhow, I take it down. I call the place that I bought it from last year. I bought it right when I got to Austin last summer. Like it was like right around record store day. So it had to be right around this time. And I go in there, I call him first, and I'm like, hey, this is what it's doing, speeding up, slowing down randomly. I don't, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, it's probably the belt. I'm like, it's a direct drive. He's like, oh. I said, yeah. He's like, well, we got some other ones here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, I'm up in Copper's Cove. I'm an hour away. I'll come down, and I'll be down there about an hour. So it's like, drive down there. Takes me an hour and 8 minutes. And I walk in, and the manager guy, the guy that I actually bought it from, I come bringing it in. He's like, hey, so this is what we're going to do. You can go buy a new one, and then we'll send this one, and I'll see if I can get this one working. If I can't get it working, then I'm not going to give you anything for it. But if we can't get it working, then I'll give you credit. Yeah, and then so it just was like, dude, because I said like, hey, can I just come down and exchange it for something else? I understand it's out of warranty. It only had a 2-week warranty on it to begin with, right? But it's a year later. I mean, and it's an old turntable, but the old turntables are also made to last, especially if they're refurbished. So then I'm like, well, why can't we just send it to the guy who does your refurbishes here? And he's like, well, we have them done somewhere. I'm like, well, why can't you just send it in and get a quote and then just charge me for it or whatever? He's like, well, I only do that on my stuff. But it is his stuff because I bought it from him, right? So then we go round and round, and it's just like, well, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? But the whole thing is like, there's no way I'm trading my turntable that I bought there just to get credit towards another one, same model, maybe get $100 off or whatever, and then go about my day, right? So then he says something. He's like, well, you can go get that stuff. I forgot what it's called. The stuff not canned air, but it's like for cleaner that you shoot in, like kind of like WD-40, but for electronics. And he's like, you can get that stuff and then watch it. And he's like, all you got to do really is just watch a YouTube video. Like that's all you got to do is just watch. It's probably nothing wrong with it. You just got to like watch a YouTube video and clean it out. And stuff, and then he goes round and round. He's like, "Oh, I can see there's going to be conflict. That there's conflict. That he's like, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm like, because one, you're insulting my fucking intelligence. He's like, well, how am I insulting your intelligence? And I'm like, dude, I get like, yeah, if somebody would have just told me, maybe this is probably something you can just handle by watching a YouTube video and just cleaning some sensors or some. It's actually pots. They're not sensors. It's the actual potentiometers, like. Actually, it's more than that. There's also a fucking circuit board I gotta take out. I gotta clean the pins on that. And then the drive selector, the speed selector. So, yeah. So he's all like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, dude, you're fucking insulting my intelligence because I could have saved me some time. Somebody would just told me that, And he's like, all like, acting like I gotta make business and all this other shit. And then finally I had to drop, dude, I got a fucking master's degree in entertainment business. I get how fucking shit works. Plus, I'm fucking United States Army Signal Corps for 12 fucking years. I know my way around fucking electronics. So, So anyhow, didn't get the turntable fixed. Went over, like, turned out though, Austin Vintage Guitars was 5 minutes away. And I got a slide. So yeah, and I really dig it. It's a blues bottle slide, because they used to use pill bottles. And the guy I bought it from, he was like, yeah, I talked to Joe Walsh came in here one time. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I asked him which finger I use. That's what finger should I use? He's like, use your fuck you finger. That's what Joe Walsh told him. Fuck you finger. So I was like, well, let me try on some slides. And I figured if it fit on my fuck you finger, then it could fit on these other fingers. So I went with this one. And then I came home. And I've just been... So yeah, didn't get my record player fixed, but I got the blues. So anyhow, there we go. We'll call it a day.